if you want to run individual coils, this is the harness that you're going to get. I don't have the coils up here, but we're going to run through the harness side of things. So the very first thing you're going to see when you get this and you want to wrap it is you're going to see it's got all of our power and ground leads, and it's got a relay, 75 amp relay with a big battery cable here. This is going to go to battery source, and then you can see that the relay's got a plug on there, and running up to our 12 pin. This relay is only going to turn on once the ECU and everything gets switched ignition power, so that's going to make sure that we don't have a constant power going out to our coils and causing issues. So this has the 12 pin connector with all of our ignition outputs, our ignition switch power, ground to turn everything on, and that again is going to plug right into our 12 pin, and a lot of the harnesses come with it, not just the REM system. If you were to get a VMS that's running a carburetor, it's going to have the same plug, so it's going to plug right into it. So running down this, it's real nice because it plugs right in. You're going to run these then out to your coils, and we have two different ones, of course. We have a GM style and a Ford style, so you're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. Then you have your cylinder head grounds. Cylinder head grounds are critical, along with grounding the cylinder heads together and grounding the engine block to the battery also, along with the chassis. Grounds are, everyone talks about it, yeah, they're pretty important. So that's the ignition harness. I really like this. I actually do have some people that will buy these even to put on other ECUs, because all you have to do is pin out the 12 pin connector however you want it, and you can use it. It's IGN-1As. It's what all the smart coils are that everyone's using. So that covers the ignition side of things for that. Furthermore, I don't have it out here, but they do make a 12 pin like this that goes out to LS valve cover harnesses, the little white covers. I mean, and it's cheap. It's like, I think it's like $60. And so if you had a VMS or you had an LS or whatever, you could, or you ran a system like this and you want to switch over from your distributor, you want to get into a coil system, but you don't necessarily need the IGN-1As and you just want to run an LS coil, you can plug that right into here. It's going to go right out to your LS valve cover harnesses, plug right in, you're done. You don't need to do anything else. I have a lot of guys running that little harness. I think I've got one. If I can dig it up, I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's really cool, and for the price, you can't beat it. We're gonna run through some of this stuff here. This is some of the accessory stuff that I have. There's quite a bit more. You can check out the website and see what they got. Haltech's website. We're gonna go over this first. This is a CAN hub. So if you have multiple CAN devices, if you have a wideband and you have a dash and you have EGTs, whatever's running on the CAN system, you need to connect those all together. Now the harness is only going to have one plug, so you need to somehow daisy chain those together. So what you're going to do is you're going to get this DTM4 to DTM4. This is going to plug into your harness. This is going to plug into here, and then you're going to just basically put whatever CAN device you have into this little hub, and everything's connected in a daisy chain. So this is really nice to have. You can mount it up however you want and get all those connected together. This here is Rotary Trim Modules. These are switches that we can put into the system, and we can program these switches to pretty much do whatever we want. So the first thing we do is we set the calibration for these, and then now the ECU knows when we're on 1, 2, 3, all the way through 12. What we can do with this is pretty much, I'd almost say limitless. We can change the fuel map based on this. We can change the timing map based on this. What I really use this for in a nitrous car is we'll use this to change our nitrous progressive. If we're running, let's say we're running a carbureted dealer or a wet system, we could set this up to change our nitrous and our fuel ramp. And the cool thing is you don't have to have one knob just controlling one thing. Now my old car, what we would do is I had one knob that would set up, and 1 through 5 might have the same nitrous ramp but a different fuel ramp to match that nitrous ramp, and then 6 through 9 might have a different one for that too. So you can reference this in the software to control whatever you want with, say, just one switch. If you have a tune-up that runs this timing map, this nitrous ramp, this drive shaft curve with your torque management, everything is all in line, you can tell it to run all of that on tune-up 1. If you have something like a trans dump valve, you can have different trans dump settings for this. If you have a lockup solenoid. We can control the lockup solenoid if we want to turn the lockup on different times. Another thing that I think is really great with these, for the turbo guys that like to change their staging RPMs, we can set these up to have a different staging RPM. You know, you might get out there and say, all right, I want to leave it 4,000, 4,200, 4,400. All we got to do is turn a knob, call it a day. When I'm using these on my own car, a car that I'm working on, I actually keep a notebook in my pocket. I have a cheat sheet so I know what everyone does. I have it all color coded. Jimmy Plimpton always provides me his really awesome color coded sheet as long as all the colors are correct. It's an inside deal. So that's going to cover that. I brought this out because a lot of people know what we're doing with them. Some people don't always get to see it. This is a laser ride height sensor. So if you don't know already, this gets mounted on the chassis somewhere. And I'll just say a lot of guys mount these up towards the front bumper. You can mount it wherever you want, realistically. It's just going to measure the distance to the ground as the car raises or lowers. Most times what this is used for is wheelie control, and it works great. There's a lot of other videos out there for other systems. I can put one together for this too, so you guys can see how we do it in Haltech. Is the car comes up in a wheelie and we have whatever parameters set, we can drop this thing down by, most guys are going to do it by dropping timing out of it. However, sometimes it's not enough. Realistically, if we wanted to, we can drop boost out of it. We can, as long as we're controlling the boost through the Haltech, we can pull boost out of it, we can pull nitrous percentage down, we can tell it to do whatever we want it to do. It's not just limited to timing, which I think is a great thing. Another thing that I wanted to touch on too is it's not just limited to wheelie control. There's times you might go out there and the ride height of the car has changed. People will miss that. They'll trailer the car to the racetrack, and next thing you know, the car is just not working how it used to. And what they didn't realize is that a spring sagged or something happened and ride height actually dropped. So you actually have an issue with this where you can see what happened to the ride height. So it's not limited to wheelie control. There's a lot of other things we can use that specifically for.